Matthew 11:38. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Romans 5:3 and 4. Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope. Romans 15:13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. If you would, bow with me and pray. Our most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for all those who have gathered here and those who are watching. Father, we come into this place in this special service weary from our journeys during the last 13 months. We pause now to thank you for your sustaining strength and provision when we needed it most. We thank you for the struggles and challenges that can produce in us perseverance. Grow in us your character and build our hope in you. Thank you for these graduates, their parents, and all who have invested and supported. Lord, fill each of us with your joy and your peace, so we may overflow with joy and hope by the power of your Holy Spirit. In the strong and powerful name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, we pray these things. Amen. You may be seated.
Wesleyan choir has recorded a song since there wasn't space here for us, so if we could have that played, please. Are we good to go, or?
Okay.
Okay, I guess let's move on in hopes that they will get that issue fixed, and we will be back in business. Dr. Mitzel?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. I was telling the students earlier, this is graduation. Be happy. So let's have a little cheering. So there have been a lot of changes, and then graduates have heard about them over the last several days. One of the changes is in how we have you seated. So students who are sitting with your parents and those of you who have supported you throughout your entire life and have been really the major force in allowing you to get where you are today. So do me a favor, and since you're all from the same household, I think we can do this. Turn and give each of your parents a hug. Thank them for what they've done. And now make sure they buy you dinner later. Albert Einstein once said, the measure of intelligence is the ability to change. I would think we could all agree we are living in a time right now of great change. So the COVID-19 virus, in just a few short months, brought economies to a halt, disrupted the social paradigm, kept us from friends and family for far too long, and potentially has changed the forward track of our lives from this point. Graduates, your lives changed at a moment's notice. You were, well, last year you had to go home early. You had to learn online. You were separated from your friends. You realized very quickly that you don't always have complete control of your lives. You're part of a much larger community. You always have to be aware of your surroundings. You are constantly in fights. COVID-19 will pass. Vaccines are coming out. There's a light at the end of that tunnel. It gets brighter every day. But changes are going to continue throughout your entire life. You are constantly going to be brought forward and faced with changes. You're going to have to adapt. Part of those areas is in technology. An interesting quote by Charles Duell in 1889. He was the director of the United States Patent Office. He was quoted in 1889 as saying, the office will probably close soon, because everything that can be invented has been invented. How many of you have your cell phones with you today? How many of you forgot to put them on silent first? But how many of you have your cell phones with you today? If we were to listen in 1889, most of you would have gotten here on horseback. And we would be yelling at each other across the street. The cell phones would never be there. Nothing would be here. In 1980, which seems much longer ago to you than me, there were 1,000 connected devices to the internet. 1,000 in 1980. In 2020, over 50 billion devices were connected to the internet. We have devices to help monitor health. From smartphones to wristwatches, we have armbands, articles of clothing, all connected to the internet. Seems we're almost more cyborg than not some days with all the electronics we have hooked up. But it's not just the gadgets that we have. It's also what happens to the workforce. By 2030, an estimated 800 million jobs may be lost worldwide to automation. These range from data entry to dental and ophthalmology lab technicians to lawyers to teachers. It seems, on occasion, that we're giving our autonomy and our responsibilities to machines and technology. But that's not the only change. How many of you watch the news on TV? I have to tell you, I long for the days of Walter Cronkite, when you saw news once a day, for half an hour. And the rest of it you did. Now that it's 24 hours a day, we have one of the greatest political divides in the USA that we've ever had. If you actually Google political divide in the USA, you get 55,600,000 hits in just over half a second. And if you read them, very few of them are positive. There are now guidelines for how to speak with your family over politics, especially at dinner. You're using sharp implements. I go back to a little bit of history when people talk about politics and these changes and the divides. Eleanor Roosevelt, in a quote to guard against what she called tribal self-certitude, said it is not only important but mentally invigorating to discuss political matters with people whose opinions differ radically from one's own. For the same reason, I believe it is a sound idea to attend not only the meetings of one's own party, but of the opposition. Find out what people are saying, what they are thinking, what they believe. It's an invaluable check on one's own ideas. That is more true today than when she spoke about it. So why am I telling you all this today? You've just been through a harrowing 13 months. If I was in my teaching mode, I'd tell everybody to move down to the front 4 rows, but they would be kicked out. So stay where you are. But it's been a tumultuous year for you. But I'm telling you this because your generation is used to this change. Your generation is really going to be what brings us back together, what looks at technology going forward. In your generation, whether arguing in liberal or conservative sense, there's always a large push toward community, communication, working together. I saw that not just nationally, but on our own campus this year. We had peaceful student marches, speeches, all put together by the student body. Brought people together when it could have been very divisive. That's what you're doing. You're the glue that's beginning to bind all of those communities back together. Make them all a Panther family. Your generation is actually the most active since the 1960s. Think about that. You're not tuning out into your smartphones and your computers. You're getting involved at a level higher than we have seen since the 1960s. You brought awareness to very important areas, especially in the past year. What I will ask you is to never lose that trait. I have a tremendous amount of enthusiasm for our politics going forward because it's going to be in your hands. And I think you're going to do wonders as we move forward. So what about technology? It actually opens countless opportunities. You have a liberal arts degree from Kentucky Wesleyan College. This degree has provided you with strengths and areas of which you may never have thought yet, but that you will use. How many of you were given semester-long projects that didn't really have an end? You had to come up with how you were going to close it off, and you had to present that, and you had to defend that. And how many of you had just a little bit of animosity toward the professors for doing it? That type of thought process is going to make you a wonderful leader, a wonderful community builder. You're not afraid to go forward, even when you don't know what the ending may be, because you've done it before, and you've succeeded at that before. You've been involved in internships, athletics. You've been placed in leadership roles, as uncomfortable as that may have been the first time. You get used to that. And now you are used to that. Now you can teach others, bring them with you. You've learned to forge your own path. More importantly, you've learned to work with others in a positive and inspirational role. And never back down. If you're pursuing your dreams and your career paths, never back down. I like to say, follow these simple rules as you move forward. And to begin, and are entrenched within the Wesleyan way. Beginning with, do everything with honor. Take responsibility for your life. Don't blame others, but also don't blame yourself. Everyone's going to make mistakes. Move forward with those, but do everything with honor. You'll feel better about yourself, and those around you will have a greater amount of respect for you because of it. Compete with integrity. You're always going to be competing, every single day. Whether it's over who picks up the paycheck for dinner tonight, who does your laundry when you visit home, their first job, promotions. But what you want to do is compete with integrity. And do not let rejection create self-doubt. Founder of Starbucks. How many of you in here drink Starbucks coffee? A few. Founder of Starbucks was rejected 217 times before somebody looked at his investment. Imagine that. First 217 people to whom you reach out tell you no. And you just created Starbucks. I asked you earlier how many of you had your phones with you. Well, Alexander Graham Bell designed the phone. He tried to sell his patent to Western Union for $100,000 back then. And they rejected it, referred to it as an electrical toy. So nobody had ever wanted to use it. So Alexander Graham Bell went out, started his own company. And the rest of that is history. So we thank him for never backing down. And Albert Einstein always comes up in conversations. Oh, yeah, Einstein. If you do something really well, oh, you're Einstein. He went for his first professorship, his first teaching position, and was turned down. He was in Zurich. They turned him down because they said his examination scores were too low. You are going to be rejected at some time in your life for something you really wanted. Don't let that stop you. You've worked much too hard. You have too many skills. Carry forward, and carry forward well. Change is inevitable, but it can be exciting. I'm going to quote a comedian, Gallo, who said, change is inevitable, except for a vending machine. But the real truth is, when you finish changing, you're really finished. So embrace the change. Help lead that change. Don't cower from it, because it will be there every single day of your lives, and you are ready for it. You are now entering an alumni family that is over 8,000 strong and growing. They will be with you every day. When you're feeling down, when you feel a little self-doubt, call us. We'll let you know how special you are. We'll let you know that you are going to make it, that you are going to reach your dreams. You just have to keep pushing. We believe in you, proud of you, so proud to have everybody in one place. We're excited to see you go, and we're sad to see you go. But you're always a Panther, you're always part of the family. Thank you very much. And now, if you could please help me welcome the Chair of Kentucky Wesleyan's Board of Trustees, Ms. Sherry Feldposh, to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mitzel. It's great to be here this morning. I want to welcome honored graduates, distinguished faculty, President Mitzel, of course, our Board of Trustees, family, friends, and guests. I bring you greetings today from the Kentucky Wesleyan College Board of Trustees and congratulate you on this spectacular achievement. You have moved into an elite minority of individuals who have strived and have achieved the goal of a college degree. I welcome you as a fellow graduate of Kentucky Wesleyan College and hope you will be a proud and dedicated alum. This place is better because you were here. You will always carry a part of the college with you, and we want you to acknowledge your time here proudly. Please never forget this moment. Carry with you the connections you've made in this place. I want to offer my sincere congratulations to all of you. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker. President Emeritus of Kentucky Wesleyan College, Barton D. Darrell. I'm happy to invite Dr. Darrell to the podium and introduce him to you today. He was raised in Owensboro, and he graduated from Davis County High School, and he earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in business from Kentucky Wesleyan College. He also earned a Juris Doctor from the Louis D. Brandeis School of Law at the University of Louisville, Kentucky. He practiced law in Kentucky for a time and was a Kentucky Wesleyan College Board of Trustee member. He became Kentucky Wesleyan College's 34th president in September of 2014. He had also served at the college prior to that in an administrative role. As president of Kentucky Wesleyan College, Bart Darrell was known across the campus and in Owensboro and Davis County for his enthusiasm and love of the college. He had a very vigorous leadership style, and early in his presidency, he crafted what is known as the Wesleyan Way. Workman, Watson, and Hultree, LLP. I want to welcome Barton Darrell to the podium this morning.
It is so good to see you. This is home for me. Wesleyan's home. Before we do anything else here today, though, I want to ask Dr. Commencement to please stand right here. Dr. Commencement. You don't get ordered around too often. We've already talked about it here a little bit. You students, families, it's been an unbelievable time. I will tell you that I know that you have handled COVID-19, the pandemic, as well as anyone anywhere. I don't know a tougher job anywhere than being a college president during the pandemic. And you students are to thank the most for how it's been handled, but it starts with leadership. And I would like everybody in this auditorium to stand up and thank Dr. Tom Mitchell for his leadership during COVID-19. Thank you, sir. Now, let me dash into your expectations, let you know what you're dealing with here. I was sharing with some of my trustees beforehand that many of you students sat in my office when you were on your recruiting business. I never claimed to be the most intellectual president ever, far from it. But we would meet, and I'd try to talk you into coming to Wesleyan. Thank God, God was in the room, and a lot of you did. But I'll never forget a young man from Indiana who came down, and he was going to be a math major. And I sat across from him, and I had very little to say to him. And some of you students are saying, oh, really? That's a first. But I did. And I said, so it's going to be math, is it? And he was your stereotypical math major. Not that that's fair. He was rather stoic and monotone, and he said, yes, sir. I said, well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'd rather beat myself in the shin with a hammer than do what you do. Because I was not a good math student. That was not my thing. And he sat there for a second. This is the only thing he volunteered that whole meeting. He said, you must think it's about numbers. I said, isn't it? He said, no, it's just logic. Someone should have told you a long time ago. So shame on everybody that ever taught me math. I also have a very complicated history with commencement addresses here at Wesleyan. It's very complicated. And I'll take it in chronological order. In 2007, I got a phone call from the then president here at Wesleyan asking me to give a commencement address. I can't even begin to tell you how humble I was, how proud I was, and honored I was. I thought, wow, all the people, they want me, Bart, to come give a commencement address. Somebody thinks I have something to say to somebody. So I worked on this speech, and I thought it was fantastic. And I'm in the line like we did today. We had it in the Grove that year. And I'm not going to say who said this to me, but it's somebody many of you know. And all of you know up here who it is. We're walking, and we're getting ready to walk up to the little stage at the Grove. I've got my speech. And just as we go out, this person turns to me and said, we can't thank you enough for pinch hitting for the person we asked to do this. I wasn't what they wanted. Okay, fast forward to 2014, I think it was. My first year as president. And I thought, you know what, this is going to be great. I'm going to get one of my brothers, Brother Bracken, who's the CEO and the president of Logitech out in Silicon Valley. I thought this will be cool. You know, current technology guy, Silicon Valley, he's from Owensboro, he's my brother. I'm going to look like the best president ever. That's our commencement speech. Made a mistake. Forgot to ask him what he was going to talk about. And he got up to this podium, and his first words to the graduating class were these: I hope that each of you fails. I hope you fail early, often, and if it doesn't kill you, I hope you fail late. I'm not making this up. And I thought, okay, I'm a brand new president. I got, Aunt Helen from Des Moines is here to see niece Susie graduate from college. And my brother, my first commencement speaker, has told her to fail her whole life. Thank goodness he went on and spoke about what he really meant, and he was talking about, as Dr. Menzel pointed out, go do stuff. Fail. It was a great commencement speech. It didn't start off well for me. The next time I gave a commencement speech, that was actually my first year's president. My brother was my second. And a couple of the trustees said, you need to give it. You need to give it. You have never been a president before. You should assert yourself. So see, I wasn't picked then either. It was by I had to. I was ordered to. So I wasn't the person. So here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that today is the first time, even though it's the third, that they really wanted me to talk. This might be it. But let's be transparent and honest about this. I want anybody in here who was asked to do this and turned it down, raise your hand, because I want to know. Sam Land, where are you? Is it you? Kenzie Thomas? Good. I feel better. The next thing I want to do, I want to talk about, we lost a friend. I lost a great friend, and Wesleyan lost a great friend, this past year, Jack Wells. Jack Wells is a Wesleyan grad, served on our board of trustees forever in the chair. When Jack Wells was 15 years old, he was sweeping floors in a nursing home. When he was 21, he owned a nursing home. Before he was 30, he was one of the largest independent nursing home operators in Kentucky. He went on from there to all kinds of businesses, to campus, to even name and mention. He did extraordinary things. He did it all with honor. He supported everybody around him, helped them make their dreams come true. He was tough as nails, and he competed with the highest level of integrity, and he loved everybody that he came in touch with, and he loved this college, and he loved you. Does that sound familiar? Because see, I didn't make up the Wesleyan plan. It's what we've always been. We just put a name to it. But no Kentucky Wesleyan person should ever forget the name Jack Wells. Because a lot of what you are seeing today is because of what he did for you and for this college. Now, as a commencement speaker, I'm obligated to give you advice on how to be successful. Well, I'm going to really be brief on this because, see, I already know the answer. You don't need it from me. Because, see, I know what you have as a Wesleyan graduate now. Many of you will recall in your visits to the campus when you were in high school, I told you had a choice. You had a choice to make that day. You could either be one of us or have to compete against one of us. Fortunately, each of you made the right decision. Because see, I know what you got when you go out there. And it's not going to be a fair fight when you compete against other people. But please, please do not pigeonhole yourself. There's going to be opportunities out there for you that you have no idea are coming. And I'm telling you, you're ready for them. But don't pigeonhole yourself. Look at me. I was a fairly average student. The Kentucky Wesleyan turned into an adaptive and versatile person. They didn't make me any smarter. They took what I could do well and turned it into me. Who would have thought that a guy that spent a bunch of years in the courtroom in front of juries would end up being a college president? Not me. I'll tell you what I remember. I remember the first day when I was introduced as president, I was scared. I was the most unqualified college president in the history of academia. Oh yeah. And in September of 2014, I thought, what are we going to do? So we all got in the gym, and the faculty, staff, the students, and we talked about what we were going to do, and we talked about this thing we now call the Wesleyan Way. And it took hold. And here's the thing that you have done, classes of 20 and 21. You took that baton and you ran with it. You have made this place so much better because of you. And so here's the thing. It has got to be you going forward. It has to be you. And here's why. You know, the lid has come off a lot of things in this country and the world over the past few years, particularly in the last year. Some things that we thought we put to rest 50 years ago have roared back to the front. Many people in my age group, in my generation, let's be honest, we're just not even mature enough to be putting stuff on social media. I mean, don't get me wrong. there's a lot of good things about social media. I hate to break down. I care, but I don't care that much. If you saw the most beautiful sunset when you found the best broccoli ever at Kroger. I know it's important to you, but I'm going to be honest with you, I don't care that much. I do care. I do care if you fed a hungry person. I do want to know when you inspired a child. That's what I want to know. And you are the generation to do that. It has to be you. COVID-19 gave viruses a bad name. Real bad name. But I have so much confidence in you and your abilities, and yes, the education that you've gotten. I have absolute confidence that you will meet the challenge of that. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go be the next virus. I want you to go be the next pandemic. But I want you to be the pandemic and the virus that infects everybody with acceptance, with tolerance, with love, with respect for education and knowledge. We have a lot of people in this country now that want to make fun of smart people. You got to end that. You have to be the ones. It's time for you to be that pandemic that will spread much faster than COVID-19. You're going to embarrass COVID-19 with how fast you spread positivity and love for each other. You can be truly, truly that change agent. A few years ago, I worked on a project, and what I was interested in was people that had had someone cross their path, that maybe for a minute or maybe for years, that as they reflect on their life, it has a lot to do with who they are now. And one of the people I talked with was a friend of mine named David Lacey. And David Lacey taught me something I want to share with you. And it's this. There are no small acts. There are no small jobs. There are no small anything. So the way I did the project was I told people to think about this question and don't tell anyone about it and don't give me the answer. I don't want anybody talking about it until cameras were rolling. And David Lacey told me this story. He said, when I was 6 years old, my grandfather took me out and was going to teach me how to fish. We got on this little rickety boat in a pond, and he instructed me on what to do. And I threw my line out there, and I stood in that rickety little boat while my grandfather sat. And I waited, and I waited. And finally, I felt a tug on the line. And it started pulling me. He said, I'm 6, I'm little. I thought it was going to pull me in. And I started screaming, Granddaddy, Granddaddy, help me. He said, my grandfather sat in that boat, with his arms crossed. While the boat was shaking, and I was about to fall in. And I said, again, Granddaddy, help me. His grandfather said, really, very calmly, do what you've been taught. Do what you've been taught. He said, I started thinking about that, and I got my first fishing. Now, fast forward many years, and David Lacey's in the Army. He's called in. Cadet Lacey is called in and asked him to accept a certain assignment. He said, yes, sir. He was a good soldier. Yes, sir. He left. His mentor was waiting in the lobby, and he asked him, what'd you tell him? And David said, I accepted it. I'm a good soldier. The man said, do you know what you just signed up for? He said, no. He said, you should ask me a question. He said, because you're not even going to be jumping out of planes. Well, David Lacey is afraid of heights. He should have asked me a question. But it's too late. So he went up for his first jump, 2,500 feet, and they throw him out. He pulls the chute, it doesn't open. He's free falling to his death. And then he said, I heard a voice in my head, and it was my grandfather from when I was 6. And the voice said, do what you've been taught. And then he remembered. You start what they call bicycling. You military folks would know this, I'm sure. When you bicycle, it makes you spin, and it kind of eases the tension on some of your lines, then you kind of pull on something else, and it finally opens. It opened shortly before he hit the ground. He landed extremely hard, but he lived, he survived. And they ran out to help him, and they said, "Cadet Lacey, are you all right?" And he's stunned and in shock. He said, "I think so." They said, "You almost died." Now at this point, while David's telling me the story, he has tears running down his face. And he said this: "If my grandfather had not taught me how to fish, I wouldn't be talking to you right now." David Lacey is now a successful business person. He has one son at West Point. Another son is a starting football player at the University of Notre Dame. His wife, Lorraine, is an educator. And all this happened because of one small thing. A grandfather teaching his 6-year-old grandson how to fish. Do what you've been taught. And the last thing I want to leave you with happened to me this week. I ran into a young man a couple nights ago at a dinner. And we were talking about his career. He's in his mid-20s, talking about his career and all this, talking about life. I'd known the young man. I knew his father when I was a kid here in Austin. And he went home and apparently told his father that he had run into me, and he really enjoyed our talk, and so did I. And here's what his father texted me. His father and I had played one summer of baseball together. We were 16 years old. We went to different schools here. I was in Davis County, he was in another one. I'd see him from time to time, but we don't hang out together. I don't really know him that well. And this is what he told his son. He said, "I was quite the rebel, but I tried not to make enemies. I was a poor kid who wanted everyone to like me. It didn't work most of the time. Bart," he's wrong about this, "Bart was a popular kid at Davis County High, a different school. And he hung with me that summer and treated me like a friend, even though I was a nobody. I will never forget that." See, here's the thing. When I think about that summer, I thought he was the cool kid in the room. He was the one that made me feel special and like I was somebody. And what I got from this was, goodness gracious, I don't care where you are as you go forward in life, and if you forget every single thing I tell you today, I hope you'll remember this. As you go forward in life, if you're anywhere and you're wondering who the cool kid in the room is, I'm going to promise you something to at least one person. It is you. It will be you. And if there's somebody in the room that you think's the cool kid, tell them, "I wish I had told my friend. I wish he told me." So as you go through life, tell the people that you love, tell the people that care about you, tell the people that make you feel special that they do. If my family's watching this, I want to thank them, particularly my brothers, my sister, my son Michael. Thank you for always making me feel like the cool kid in the room. You've made me that way, felt that way all my life, and I thank you for that. And I hope I've done a little bit of that for you. But we just never know what it is that we do, because there's nothing small. There is nothing small. The smallest things to the big things. So I want to close and tell you this. Number one, graduating class in 20 and 21, I admire you. I am so proud of you. And I love you. And you always made me feel like the cool kid in the room. And I hope I've made you feel that way from time to time, because you are special. You're oh so special. And I'm so optimistic about what you're going to do and the lives that you're going to impact. Starting today. So, go and do as you've been taught. And tell the people that are special that they are. And tell them that you love them and appreciate them. Because everything else I said will take care of itself if you start with that. So congratulations to you, the class of 2021, to your families. Congratulations to our unbelievable faculty and staff, and to the Board of Trustees. Thank you for your incredible leadership for this great college. Again, you chose to be one of us, and it's going to bring you a lifetime of joy. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Partner Darrell. That was riveting. I've had the privilege of being with you on many occasions over the last year, and I will tell you that every time you're in the room, you are the cool kid in the room. So it goes without saying. We occasionally get to honor someone who has given a tremendous amount to the college. And we honor them by awarding an honorary degree. He earned a Bachelor of Arts in Mathematics from Wesleyan, a Master's degree in Physics from the University of Virginia, and a PhD from Penn State. He would have been a wonderful teacher for you, Mark, mathematics. Dr. Hahn accepted a position as a senior scientist with Bausch & Lomb in Rochester, New York, and in 1967, he founded his own company, Laser Energy Incorporated, and manufactured high-power lasers. He later relocated to Albuquerque, New Mexico, where he founded CVI Laser Corporation. That company expanded rapidly and opened operations and purchased similar businesses in Connecticut, California, Florida, South Korea, and England. It became the world's largest manufacturer of high-quality laser products. His company was awarded the National Small Business Subcontractor of the Year distinction in New Mexico and the National Small Business Contractor Award in the United States. To help get the Hahn Center built, Dr. Hahn gave a challenge grant of $1 million for a science center at the college, spearheading a drive that raised enough money to begin construction of that state-of-the-art building. He did as he was taught. He went on and did wonderful things, raised everybody around him. But he never forgot where he got his start in education at Kentucky Wesleyan College. In 2004, the Board of Trustees of Kentucky Wesleyan College named the college's new Science Center for him, and the center was dedicated in September of 2005. The Hahn family also established a U. Hawk Hahn Endowed Scholarship, and it awards to a full-time student who is majoring in a science discipline of biology, chemistry, or physics, all in honor of Dr. Hahn. Today, Wesleyan recognizes Dr. Hahn's outstanding achievements by recognizing, actually he won more awards than that, so let me back up a little bit. He was also recognized with the Alumni Achievement Award in 2003 and was inducted into the Alumni Hall of Fame in 2005. And for everything that he has done to help with your education, to help us better education for students in the coming generations. We are happy to award Dr. Yuha Khan the Doctor of Business. But he is very gracious, wanted to say thank you to everybody, and we are grateful for what he has done. Thank you.
Graduates are traditionally recognized for their academic achievements. Summa cum laude refers to students who have attained grade point averages of 3.9 to 4.0. Magna cum laude refers to students who have attained a grade point average of 3.7 to 3.899. Cum laude refers to students who have attained a grade point average of 3.5 to 3.699. And you will see these awards based on the course that the graduates are wearing. So, will the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts and the Bachelor of Arts in Music please rise? They're up in the balcony. Oh, they're already down. Oh, great, awesome. Great, terrific. All right, okay. President Mitchell, I present to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Arts in Music. They have been approved by the faculty and the Board of Trustees. I present them to you so you may confer their degrees.
By the authority granted to me by the Commonwealth of Kentucky and the Board of Trustees of Kentucky Wesleyan College, I hereby confer upon each of you the Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Arts in Music degrees to which you are entitled, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto.
The class of 2020. Charles Peyton Ford, Bachelor of Arts. Trevor Gordon Roos. The Bachelor of Arts degree, class of 2021. Sylvie Benson. Josiah Thomas Bonbury. Sydney Madison Coleman. Anthony Douglas Harris. Gloria Maria Endicott. Emily Ray Jentz, cum laude. Kaylee Nacy. Kyle David Miller. Kenzie Reed Toms. Lamont Wilson. The Bachelor of Arts in Music, Isabel Burkett. Courtney Page Lindsay. Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science please rise? President Mitchell, I present to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degrees. They have been approved by the faculty and the Board of Trustees. I present them to you so you may confer their degrees.
By the authority granted to me by the Commonwealth of Kentucky and the Board of Trustees of Kentucky Wesleyan College, I hereby confer upon each of you the Bachelor of Science degrees to which you are entitled, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto.
Naomi Anisi Belcher. Samuel Earl Bland, summa cum laude. Maurice Dante Carter. Brooke Rayanne Griffin, magna cum laude. Luke Aaron Johnson. Olivia Grace Miller, cum laude. Thomas Chase Roth. And all of those individuals were of the class of 2020. For the class of 2021, Chandler Rose Adams. Matthew Chase Andrews. Chelsea Ann Arnold. Grayson S. Bailey. John Colby Barnes. Matthew James Bell, magna cum laude. Cheyenne Marie Best, cum laude. Jordan Blick. Allison Ann Boone, summa cum laude. Adam Edward Boucher. Danielle Sally Brulette, summa cum laude. Joseph Burke. Kiara Elise Burns. Julia Murray Calhoun. Summa cum laude. Austin Matthew Cavender. Cameron Andrew Chapman. Tia Grace Chavella, magna cum laude. Kaylee Nicole Clifford, cum laude. Trey Cobbs. Elizabeth Durth, cum laude. Carter Dodson. Collins Dodson. Michael Sexton Dupree, magna cum laude. Kathleen Jane Dumas. Christian Duncan. Anna Elizabeth Dunkerson, cum laude. Jeffrey Eves, cum laude. Lauren Nicole Elliott, magna cum laude. Ian Charles Ellis. Chandler Paul Evans. Megan Flanagan. Ian Garrett Francisco. Jordan Olivia Garland. Galen Price Gibson. Jonathan Edward Goodwin, summa cum laude. Joe Griffin. Malia Koya Gums. Austin Tyler Hamilton. Elisa Harden. Everett Bryn Hendrickson, cum laude. Caden Scott Kylo Hicks, cum laude. Zachary Taylor Hopewell. Rachel Elizabeth James. Byron Johnson. Brianna R. Kazabowski. Julie Kingsolving. Ramsey Rashawn Lane. Jessica Ann Legg. Amanda Devlin Lynn Luna. Amanda is a U.S. Navy veteran. Please stand for her. George David Marsh. John Martin. Kelly Martinez. David James Anthony Mattingly. Lillian Sky Miller, summa cum laude. Trevor Philip Miller. Darion Moore. Lily Jane Morton. Alyssa Nichols. Darby Danielle Lenan. Michaela Michelle Pollard. Nathan Pruitt. Matthew F. Ray. Josie Ann Reynolds. Dakota Justin Rhodes. Cheryl Janine Roberts. Nyla Yvonne Roy. Jolena Scruggs. Callista Lynn Self. Jessica Lee Shelton, summa cum laude. Braden Sisson. Devin Smith, magna cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Smith. Cameron Dean Stollard, cum laude. Alex Strain Harris. Rachel Elizabeth Terry, cum laude. Michael Christopher Basin. Crisley Watson, cum laude. Corianne Lee Weaver. Drake Whitson. Benjamin David Wilcoxon. Carly Ray Wilkerson, cum laude. Kaylee Marie Willis, summa cum laude. Brianna Jade Willoughby. Erica Lynn Willoughby. Bailey Renee Woodall. Samantha Diane Yake. Bronson Kipruto Yator, cum laude. Jennifer Jones Singh. Will the candidates for the Associate of Science degrees please rise? President Mitzel, I present to you the candidates for the Associate of Science degrees. They have been approved by the faculty and the Board of Trustees. I present them to you so you may confer their degrees.
By the authority granted to me by the Commonwealth of Kentucky and the Board of Trustees of Kentucky Wesleyan College, I hereby confer upon each of you the Associate of Science degrees to which you are entitled, with all the rights, privileges, and the responsibilities appertaining thereto.
Cameron Renee Grack. And last but not least, Sydney Nicole Valls. Congratulations to everyone.
After the alma mater, Student Government Association President Jessica Shelton will ring the Millsburg bell to conclude our 153rd commencement exercise. So can I please have the Kentucky Wesleyan Singers come forward to lead us in the singing of the alma mater. Please stand, everyone.
Just a very quick housekeeping statement before you all leave. I'm going to have to ask you to leave like you do in church, using ushers in order to meet our social distancing.
bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. In the name of the Father, Son,